Think about what your life would be like if you never had to work again. How would you spend all that extra time? Would you watch movies all day? Would you spend more time with your kids? Would you find a passion in volunteer work? Whatever your ideal life looks like, it's important to know that it's possible. However, dreaming of this life and living it are two different things, and in this video, I'll show you how. There are two kinds of people in the working world: those who love their jobs and those who hate them. Unfortunately, only a small percentage of working people are in this first group, and even those who love their jobs can only keep that fire burning for so long. If you ask most people, they'll say that if they could, they'd quit their jobs and never have to work again. So what's stopping them from leaving that job they hate? It's called money. I think the most realistic thing for most people to do is to buy 3 things, all of which I'll talk about right now. The first thing you'll need to do to live a work-for-your life is own real estate. I know you hear a lot about real estate investing and how great it is. I think some of the benefits of this type of investment are exaggerated, but that doesn't mean it shouldn't be part of your work-free portfolio. To give a fair assessment of this very popular asset, let's briefly go over some of its pros and cons, and how it can help you reach your goal of handing in your 2-week notice at work sooner than you think. Supply goes down and most people don't want to live under a bridge. This means there will always be a demand for housing, which is a huge win for you if you want to use real estate to help you reach your goal of not having to work. Lastly, let's face it, real estate is not the hardest asset to figure out. Finding good deals can take some work, but screening tenants and setting up a rental agreement will take much less work than trying to figure out how warrants brown down. Provisions work now, but no asset is perfect, and the biggest problem for most people who want to get into real estate is that it takes a lot of money to get started. If you want to buy your own property, you'll need tens or even hundreds of thousands of dollars. This is bad news for most people who get regular paychecks. This kind of money can take a long time to save up, which is why so many people have to work well into their later years. If you can save up the money you need to get into the real estate game, here are some tips that will get you one step closer to living your dream of not having to work. The power of this asset comes from the cash flow it gives you. When you stop working, your bills don't stop, so it's important to have a flexible way to make money after your paycheck stops. This is where rental income comes in. As a general rule, any property you buy to rent out should be able to meet the 1% rule, which says that you should be able to charge 1% of the property's purchase price in rent every month. This is recommended so that you can cover all the costs of running the home and ideally get positive cash flow from the property, which is important because you'll be relying in part on this cash flow to replace your now gone SA. One thing to keep in mind is that you can't really live off the rental income from a single property loan unless you move back in with your parents and eat nothing but ramen noodles. Even if you can cash flow, say $1,000 a month, this won't be enough to meet your monthly needs, and if you don't have the money to get the same results from a few properties, you'll have to branch out and use 2 other investments to make up the difference. Let's talk about your second investment, which is likely to be the main way you'll replace your income from your 9-to-5 job. When you think of the internet, you probably think of answering wildly inappropriate posts on Facebook or infecting your computer with thousands of viruses just to get the latest Usher song. But the internet is more than just a place for cringeworthy behavior, and it's an avenue for making money. It's never been cheaper or easier to start a business than it is now, and an internet business is a must for anyone who wants financial freedom. Now, I don't want you to think that just because you're starting an online business, you're just switching from one job to another. We agreed from the beginning that you'd be relying on investments to never have to work again, and that remains true. You can make a lot of money with online businesses because they don't have the same costs as traditional businesses and can reach a lot more people thanks to the internet. Even though you'll have other people run your business, you'll still have to do some work to get it started. For example, you'll have to decide on a business model and hire people who will help build your business. However, if you set things up correctly, your only responsibility after that should be financial. I know that in my YouTube business, I do a lot of the work myself, but I could easily give the work to freelancers and have the whole system run on autopilot while I collect checks from Google every month. Once your online business is up and running and making money month after month, you'll want to do 2 things with the money you're making. The first is to use that money to put back into your online business. Dividend stocks tend to grow at a much slower rate than growth stocks because the company pays out profits to shareholders instead of putting them back into the business. This means that if you want to get a big position in dividend stocks, you'll have to do most of the work yourself, while with growth stocks, you'll have to do much less. Rely on your own capital investments to see your portfolio grow over time. In fact, if you choose the right stocks, your portfolio can grow at exponential rates without a lot of capital being invested, which is great for people who can't stand to look at their boss for even one more day. The main goal of your stock portfolio in this case is to supplement the income you're making from your online business. Most people lose their portfolio and estates once they retire. Here's an example to show what I mean. Let's say you can save $50,000 a year or about $4,000 a month. If you follow the 4% rule, you need to invest $1.25 million to live the way you want to. But if you use the three-pronged approach we've been talking about, you'll need much less to get the same result if you can buy 2 properties. I hope you get some knowledge of these 3 investments to quit your job, and make sure you like, subscribe, turn on bell notifications for more content like this. Thanks for watching.